Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Let me see if I can show my pages on. Yeah, let's go stoves. Alright. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Cool. Alright. I'm live. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakodash. Alright, we give a double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom, salutation. The audience says here, Akim, across the four winds, pushing his truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasam Gan from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakodash, and feed the elect. And shalom to you, sincere few sisters out there that tune in and listen. This is gonna be hopefully through the spirit a quick lesson. Going into just a little bit of prophecy and just making sure through the spirit, man, we stay vigilant. That we keep our wits about us, because there's so much that's going on now. As you know, we're approaching the Passover. Things always kind of turn up during the Passover, so that's nothing new. But the level that things is happening right now, I mean, it's different. You can see that there's a shift. There's a shift that's going on in the universe, so to speak, right? Seasonal shifts. I mean, some of the things is happening from trains derailing. Of course, the things in the sky with the balloons and of course, the false information about the UFO. I mean, we know what the UFO is. But the reason why I'm saying is because, the title says to keep your wits. And we're going to get into the word wits and dealing with also information. All right. This is the time to stop being, to make sure you get the proper information, because if not, you're going to lose your mind, because you're going to hear things from this government and all these different governments. And that who they work for, the Rothschilds and all that. So you have to be able to, have the proper information, not only biblically, but when you see information in the world that it matches the Bible, so you can keep your wits, all right, and you're not out there talking crazy and believing some of this nonsense that's out there, all right? Because there's a psychological warfare that's being played on a very, very high level in 2023, but it goes right into prophecy. So without further ado, I had a couple precepts, but first, what I wanted to do is go to Edom Online. Let me put this away. I went to Edom Online to look up the word wit. I don't know if you can see, it's probably bright as hell, but the word wit, W-I-T, on Edom Online, you can do the same thing. It says mental capacity, right? Mental capacity, and that's what we're dealing with. That's the point of this video. The mental capacity has to match the spiritual capacity. It's one thing to know the precepts, but you also have a certain mentality to go along with the spirit, so you can be stable. All right, because a lot of people with weak minds, although they have the understanding of scriptures, because they got weak minds, they're gonna unravel with all the madness that's happening right now. It says understanding, and it says intellect. All right, the word intellect goes back to the word intel. All right, that's where you get the word data. All right, so you have to be very careful of the intelligence or the intel that you receive, wherever you receiving this intel, whether it be from mainstream media, whatever other sources, like us, we know not to believe in mainstream media, but we have our other underground sources. Even when we get this intel, we still gotta mirror that intel with the scriptures, so we know exactly what's going on, so we don't fall as prey of the psychological warfare that the Rothschilds, the top elite Edomites, have basically unleashed on the planet Earth. All right, and we know that psychological warfare really turned up back in 2020 when Crown 19 was released. Everything changed, and it seems like 2023 is we've entered a second stage of whatever plans they got going on, right? So we have to make sure we have the understanding, and we have and the proper intel, so we can keep each other wits about us. All right. It says knowledge, consciousness, conscience. All right, and it says understanding, intelligence, mind, wits, mind. All right. It says okay, cool. That's enough. So now let's get precept that I had. First precept that I had was First Peter, First Peter chapter 5. First Peter chapter 5, and I'm gonna read mostly off the blue letter because I want to be able to read the different Bible comparisons so we can get a better understanding of these scriptures, right? So First Peter chapter 5, verse. I'm gonna start at 6. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time." All right. It says, "Casting all your care upon Him, so like it for He careth for you." All right. And that's another thing too. You gotta cast all your cares, because I noticed throughout the camps, of course, beginning with our camps, and beginning with me, there's a higher level as all the craziness is happening, and it's like everything is ramping up in the spirit, man. I mean, the trials and tribulations, I mean, they're stacking up like crazy, and it's so many distractions that are basically being available, right? As you and that's a sign, right? So you have to keep your wits about you, because if all of a sudden, when all hell is getting ready to break loose, as you can clearly see, you start and see chances of opportunities to either make it big, and certain things seem to be going your way, in a season and time where normally a lot of things ain't supposed to be going your way. That's a sign, that's a sign that might be a trap. It's most likely a trap from the spiritual demon Satan to try to derail you. Why? Because the hour is coming. We inching closer and closer to a time where we're gonna have to make the ultimate decision. When it comes to Revelation 13 and the charagma, all right, the mark, as we know. So going back to the precept on 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 7, "Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." So the scripture tells you to be sober and be vigilant. Let me see if I can read a different Bible comparison or Bible version of that particular precept. Now, this is 1 Peter 5 and 8. I'm going to read on the NLT, right? The NLT states, "Stay alert," all right? Stay alert. Watch out for your great enemy, the devil, all right? And the word devil goes back to the deceiver. So a lot of the news that we're seeing right now is deception, all right? It's all deception. It's all smoke and mirrors. A lot of it is smoke and mirrors. It's about derailing you from the truth, and we know what the truth is the gospel, all right? We know we don't get into talking about no damn aliens, all right? That's what the normies do, the zombies, the people that are asleep. Let them talk about that alien talk, right? Now, if they happen to bring that upon you and they really want to know, through the spirit, you still got to be mindful who you're talking to. And I'm gonna bring precepts, man. This is a time to be careful of your surroundings, man. I'm not saying become extremely paranoid, but it's just time to be careful with the people you surround yourself with outside of this gospel, man. So-called family members, the things that you're gonna say that you're gonna say out of your mouth are gonna contradict almost 99% of what's gonna come out of the mainstream media, and that's how people are gonna start to put you in certain categories where they're eventually gonna betray you, so-called family members and stuff like that. So you have to be aware of what you're saying and be discreet, all right? And also your personal endeavors. Don't get sidetracked into trying to build big businesses. The biggest, you feel like you're in the brink of a big break financially, man. Oh, the economy is getting ready to collapse, man. The only way you could have that big break is if whatever opportunity it seems to be presented itself in front of you, you're gonna have to, take that charagma to actually succeed. Into that potential big break that you feel is about to happen. You know what I'm saying? You think the Most High is gonna make you strike rich Right now, when all hell finna break loose, man, when Satan's really about to put hell on us, you believe that now it's the time where Satan's gonna make you like really strike rich. That means you're being foolish, man. All right. So the NLT says, stay alert, watch out for your great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. All right? And a lot of it is mental games. It's psychological warfare that Satan is playing on people. I'm going to read one more. This is the CSB. It says, be sober-minded, be alert. Your adversary, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion looking for anyone he can devour. And like I said, listen, this goes for everybody, including myself. You know, the reason why I'm, the spirit jump on us to speak about these things is because we go through these things. That's why when we speak, it's not like we making things up. You know, you only, because we know the things that we experienced, the men of the Lord, the hopeful elect out of the nation of Israel, the 144,000, the 1/3, 12,000 for each tribe, and then the women and the children, they're going through it too. All right. So the next precept that I had was, let's go to, this is out the Apocrypha. All right, the Apocrypha. All right, and it's Second Ezra chapter 5, and I'm gonna start at let me see, Second Ezra chapter 5. Well, you know what? As a matter of fact, let me see if I can start at. I'm gonna go straight to I'm gonna go straight to the point. Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 8 actually it says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall often be sent again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and mistress women shall bring forth monsters. All right, so we're going into apocalyptic type an apocalyptic season, basically. Verse 9, it says, and salt water shall be found in the sweet. Right, so if the water is sweet, and the water represents doctrine, it represents the way of life, and it says that whatever doctrine or whatever you believe, it's not going to have the answer. It's going to confuse you. All right, your way of life that you got is also going to be confused. Everything is going to be rocked. All right. It says, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his secret chambers. All right, so we going into the season now where wit is going to hide itself. All right, whether you're talking about the so-called wit, the so-called mental strength that people have, people gonna really revert to their base nature. All right, and this is something that's been going on for ages, well, for decades. It's psychological warfare that's been put on our people. All right, if you're talking about the destruction of the family, the establishment of the black church and Christianity, the misinterpretation of the scriptures, constantly slandering the men of the Lord, all right, so that the nation, the majority, the bulk of the nation wouldn't receive on the message. But we know it's all according to the scriptures. But remember, this is a psychological warfare that attacks the mind and the spirit, not just the spirit, the mind and the spirit. So those two things have to be, they have to work in accordance, the mind and the spirit. All right. So now let's go to the next precept that I have, and I spoke about this in particular. All right, I spoke about this in particular. This is the book of Tobit. All right, in the Apocrypha. All right, this is the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha, Tobit chapter 4, verse 4. All right, and it states, "Remember, my son, that she." Yeah, I was let me see. No, that's not the one. That's not the one. So like, just give me a, just bear with me. Make sure I give the right, because that precept was pretty powerful. I want to make sure I get that right. Just bear with me. Please her, remember my son. She's in danger. Mindful Lord that he's. All right, now let me see. So like, just bear with me. Oh, there you go. I got it. It's Tobit chapter 4 verse 14. All right. So like, it's Tobit chapter 4 verse 14. It says, Let not the wages of a man which has wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand, right? For if thou serve the point, for if thou serve the Most High, He will also repay thee. But it says, be circumspect, my son, in all things that doest, and be wise in all thy conversation. So you have to be circumspect in the things that you're doing, the things you're getting involved into. All right. This is 2023 as the society is collapsing right in front of our eyes. I mean, we've talked about um, the infrastructure, right? We talked about the infrastructures, made several countless videos about the fact that the greatest empire that the earth has ever seen, the United States of America, also known as the Babylon the greatest empire of all time, has the worst infrastructure on the planet Earth. All right, do you understand in 2023 America we don't have a railroad system where we can have that could support those bullet trains, right? Right. So Japan, China, all these nations that you may laugh at, they have something called a bullet train. Germany, they have these trains that can go from one nation to another in 20, 30 minutes. We don't have that infrastructure with all the money because the money that the slave labor from you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans and the rest of the nation, all that slave labor, that money goes into the bank account of Rothschild Inc. All right. It goes into the bank account of Rothschild Inc. and then Rockefeller Inc. and and companies like BlackRock and Vanguard distribute that money upon amongst the 13 families, and then everybody else get their cut. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the infrastructure, like nobody, like the elites don't care. All they want you to believe is sit here and talk about how this is the greatest, this is the greatest, that, and you just find out trains are derailing. They've been derailing, man, but they're not reporting it. All right, so that's what I'm saying. You got to keep your wits about you. This prophecy happening, man. The Most High taking this place piece by piece. All right, you just got to be aware and not be distracted. All right, so a couple more precepts. Now let's go to this is a book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. All right, wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. All right, so what is the will of the Lord? All right, which that would be the next question. All right, because if I'm sitting there and I'm telling you, hey man, you gotta be circumspect. You gotta watch how you're moving. You need to watch who you're talking to in these days. I mean, even us within the camps, you know what I'm saying? We right now we tighten up the group because we know not everybody in the camps believe what we believe. We know that there's traitors, man. It's hard. And listen, and that's not easy. You think it's not easy, being a part of something so great and knowing that in the midst you got guys that are traitors, man. You got guys that are going to be revealed to be traitors. That's a hard thing to deal with. But still, we continue to push forward knowing that the Heavenly Father is going to protect the ones of us that are sincere. You know what I'm saying? And the ones of us that are not sincere, they're trying to put us back into bondage. That wants us to be under Social Security for the rest of our lives. They want our legacy of children to be born from these creatures, right? These creatures called females in Babylon. Like, come on, man, that's craziness. All right. So those people who fight for that, who fight for the devil, they're going to be exposed. And may Yahweh Shemel Shah destroy them. And may Yahweh Shemel Shah bring shame upon their name, you know what I'm saying, for eternity, for real. I mean, that's just how I feel. And that's according to the scriptures. So let's go to, and I'm going to read the precepts before I close out too, because I see brothers are putting some good ones up there. The next precept that I had was, right, the will of the Lord. All right, and again, we stand on Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. All right, the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39. All right, and the answer is easy. We know what the answer is. It says, "But he that giveth his mind," Ecclesiasticus 39:1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients." All right, so that's what you got. That's how you keep your wits about. You don't keep your wits about by seeking out information from mainstream media, by seeking out information. Nah, make sure you get the proper intel, and whatever intel or data, right, that you take, make sure you go into the scriptures, man, and then match. If that don't match, no, it's psychological warfare bullshit that's being put in front of you as a way of distraction. All right, that's how you keep your wits about you, and that's how you're gonna be able to make your moves financially, socially, you know, in all these different aspects spiritually. Okay, that's what it means to be stable in that time, as the scripture said in Isaiah. All right, it says, will seek out the wisdom. I'm gonna read it again. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecy. So now, what we want to do is, you want to go to Luke chapter 21. And I'm gonna read a couple precepts. Marry with what, kind of measure the time and some of the things that's going on now and what to expect in the upcoming months, especially when the Sabbath, the Passover, you know, comes and goes. We expecting some big things, man. I feel like the spidey sense, man. What people call it the sixth sense, seventh sense, whatever. The spidey sense is telling you that, man, there's something really bad in the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some weird things that's going on, man. Weird things that are allowed to be talked about on the news. Things that you're like, hold on, did they just? You look at the mainstream media breaking news, and you're like, man, did they just put that on the TV screen, man? I'm like, bro. Before they did that, they talked to their people, and they asked their handlers, man. I'm sure the handlers say, yo, put this on the screen. As a breaking news, you got a balloon. Do you understand it's not the first time? Well, they just acknowledged, the Pentagon acknowledged that it wasn't the first time that you had balloons in the sky. They say that the last administration, the Trump administration, they said they had a bunch of balloons in the sky from China and different places. But they ain't bring it to you, right? But why are they bringing this shit now? Because, again, this is the mind games. That's a psychological warfare that's going on our people. So that's why you have to be aware of the information that you receive and don't just buy whatever they're saying. So now Luke 21 and I'm gonna start at 8. Luke 21 and 8, and it says, and he said, take heed, right? It's Yahushua speaking, and it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and the time draweth near, go ye not therefore after them. All right, and that particular precept prophecy. And we talked about this at camp the other day. That hey, listen, when you have these other camp like the Wi-Fi Israelites, you know, in saying the things that they're saying is prophecy. All right, they're supposed to say these things. All these different camps that are refusing to acknowledge that the Karagma, right, that the mark, it's this CHIP or the chip. They're doing this because it was prophesied. It was prophesied for them to do that. But it's also a sign that we're getting closer and closer to that hour, and that's the reason why it keeps being brought up, and that's the reason why all these weird things is happening. Okay, because the weird things around us is to bring us to have us distracted from the main thing that's happening. And the main thing that's happening on the planet Earth right now, whether you know it or not, is the fact that you have Israelite so-called prophets not acknowledging that the biggest prophecy, is indeed the RFID microchip. That is the biggest thing happening on the planet Earth right now. Now, of course, it means nothing to the heathens, and it means nothing to anybody who doesn't know the truth. But if you're distracted by everything else, you wouldn't know. This is the biggest thing. You got so-called prophets, guys that call themselves leaders, denying the truth to the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's big. All right? But it's happening even more at what time? It says, verse 8, it says, and he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed. And they deny, this is the thing, they deny that the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shah, man. Think about that. They deny that the mark of the beast is the chip in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shah, man. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing going. Not some goddamn balloon in the sky. You know, we know the EMP stuff is gonna happen. We know all these things is gonna happen. But if you don't get right, if you don't focus on what's truly going on, none of that's gonna matter because you're gonna get caught up in Esau's destruction. All right. It says, verse 9, it says, but when ye shall hear of wars and rumors, hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by, right? It says, then said unto him, nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdoms. And we're seeing that right now, you know, Russia and also China. You know, you got all these different places where there's commotions. And it's going to accelerate. And it says now, verse 11, it says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. So it didn't say earthquakes. And that's the thing, emphasis on the word, great earthquakes. We've had, and all the deniers said, well, you know, man, that the earthquake that happened over there in Syria, Turkey, yeah, earthquakes always happen. Yeah, it's true. But you don't always get great earthquakes. You don't always get earthquakes of biblical proportions. All right. But we enter in a time now in 2023 and beyond where you're going to start to get these earthquakes of biblical proportion. Undeniable signs that the hour is quickly approaching where we, the hopeful elected, really the whole world is going to be put in a position where they're going to have to acknowledge that the Karakma, right, is the chip. You know what I'm saying? That hour will come, brothers and a few sisters. All the bucking that's going on, they're doing that because that's according to prophecy. But the hour will come when it will not be denied that this is the mark of the beast. But yet, people still gonna take it knowing that it's the mark of the beast. Why? Because their wits will be gone, man. Their wits will be gone. All right. And verse 11, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. So that's exactly where we are. So if you were to ask yourself, okay, so where are we in 2023? Well, we in Luke 21, verse 11. That's where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how you keep your wits about you, man. Knowing exactly where you are on the season in which you're in. And so you won't be distracted by what's going on around you. All right. And I'm going to finish with, and I'm going to jump down to 25. And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. All right, meaning nonstop without answers. The sea and the waves roaring, man's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Right. The reason why people are going to be afraid is because they're going to finally acknowledge and know within their spirit that we are in the end times, and they're going to start to remnant and look upon the actions that they've done. All right, from all the abominations that they've done. You know, they're going to reflect on everything that they've done. Some are going to run to Jesus, white Jesus, to save them. We already know that's not the answer. Some are going to run to Allah. That ain't the answers. They're going to run to a counselor. All right, but we know as Israelites, the hopeful elect, you know, we are going to remain. We're not going to run. We're going to remain in Yahweh Ba'ashem El Shah. And that's our best chance of being saved out of the calamities and the madness that's coming down the pipe. Verse 27, it says, verse 26, man's heart failing him for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. All right. And it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, meaning these things going back to what we read in verse 11, right? It says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth near. All right, so you got to look up and lift up your head when you start seeing these things. All right, am I upset that that you have a bunch of guys that call themselves leaders, refusing to acknowledge that the mark of the beast is indeed the Quran, the chip? Yes and no. Yes, I'm upset, but then no, because I know it's a necessary evil. You have to have false prophet because through the false prophet you were able to determine the real prophets. You have to have that comparison and compare and contrast both of them. So it is what it is. All right. And the last precept that I have is so I can. And this is one of my favorite precepts because I know. Listen, you still got to pay your bills. You still got things going on around you. Work, demons at work, demons in your mind, demons everywhere, man. Adversaries everywhere. So you still got to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. You may still have some potential to make a little bit of money or whatever. So I'm not saying you gotta go ahead and just be dead broke and not have any type of will or drive. But be mindful, man. This is this is Ecclesiasticus Sirach chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at 36. I'm going straight to the point. 36. It said, "Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss." We'll read that again. "Whatsoever thou takest in hand, remember the end, and thou shalt never do amiss." So as long as you remember where you are and what you are and what's going on, you're not going to do amiss. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the balance to it. Like I said, I'm not saying be paranoid, but be extremely vigilant of how you're moving around here, man, spiritually, mentally, and also physically to the best of your ability. All right, and that's basically what I want to say. I'm gonna pull up some precepts because I know the brothers. Let's see, brothers had some good precepts in here, man. I should be able to see it. All messages such as potential chat review from high, all messages are visible. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do as much as I can to my hand. Sometimes so many precepts. All right. So GMS we got next. Hey, Shalom, Revelation 1:3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Absolutely. I mean, we being barraged with all kinds of weird informations, and the elites are playing mind games, man. They're playing mind games with these people, man. Matthew 7:6, give not that which is holy into the dogs, right? Neither cast ye your pearls before swine. Yeah, so be careful who you speaking the word to, man, because it might come back to bite you in the ass, man, if you're not being discreet. Part of being at war and warfare, when you in behind enemy's lines, you have to be discreet. You can't be waving your flag to the enemy. You don't know. Sometimes you don't know who the enemy is. All right. And you don't know who could potentially beat your enemy. GMS, I'm one of Bosh. I want my Yabba. Hey, man, the Most High bless you, protect you, and everything that you're going through, my brother. It says, Ecclesiasticus 1:18, the fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish both, which are the gift of the Most High, and enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Yeah, absolutely. But it's the fear of the Lord, man. If you don't have the fear of the Lord, man, you ain't got no shot, man. I'm just gonna be honest. You ain't got no shot. Brother got Baruch. That's another one. Man, the brother just put a whole bunch of precept. Shalom to you, Rock. Okay, I like this one. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. 6:11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right, and as you know, the word wiles in Ephesians chapter 6:11. If you look up the word wiles, what comes up in the Greek is methodia. The Greek word is methodia. That's where you get the word method. And then, and when you look that word, it says craft. Now, if you go to Edom Online, you look up the word, you type in the word techno, where you get the word technology. You type in the word techno or tech, that word means craft. All right. So when Ephesians speaks about the wiles of the devil, it's talking about the technology of the devil. All right. Who's the devil? It's Edom, Esau, the so-called white race, and his number one achievement in technology is the mark of the beast. The chip, basically. All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, I want to precept some of those precepts I brought forth. So yeah. Hey, the water Aki, man, for the precepts. Again, the water for all the brothers that are checking in. So we can all get fed. All right. So Hey, I know through the spirit, man, you were edified as well as I was. So I'm gonna say, Carl Holam La Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem Hakadash, man, Barakatah, Yahweh, Barakatah, Yahushua. Hey, double honor to our apostle, the elders of Great Millstone. Now, Shalom and salutation to always say Akim and a few sisters that do listen. I know we go hard on the sisters, but we have to. You sisters, you see what's going on out there, man. We gotta bring everything. We gotta bring the fire to everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's how we all become better. So continue to stay strong, continue to stay watchful. Cause I'm down from the DC camp. Y'all about Shalom.